Well, g'day everybody. What we got, about the 23rd, is it? Just give me a second. No, 22nd of March, 3:45 p.m. Just to give you a little bit of a brief update. We've been working our backsides off. We had a visit from the council who who said that I was taking things just a little bit too far with my mulch project, but you guys will remember from some of that footage that you saw, there was a mountain here in this area. So basically we got in there before the rain came. We've had a hiding with rain in the last week. You know, it's still running down through the thing and dripping down through, which is good. So yeah, we had a major event with all that rain and the council and they said that I had to move all this stuff down the back, which I needed to anyway, but it was one of those things that everything else just seemed to take precedence over getting to that job, and with equipment down and things like that, it made it more difficult. So next week, tractor update next week. Good news, the new tractor will be here next week, so that's very exciting news for you guys to have a good look at, which way we've gone, how we've gone, the size that we've gone. Yeah, so we're looking at bringing in a front end loader, about a 10-ton front end loader. We'll, keep you up to date on that one as that gets closer. So basically, I don't have much choice at the moment here, because when this property gets wet, it really gets wet. The Victoria, the Volvo that you've seen in the photo, sorry if that wind's annoying. It's very hard to judge how much wind's going to be a real issue for you guys on film. I had her down the back. I had to load it up with all this stuff, and I made a mistake being silly. I just was last load of the day, and I threw on a load of all of this stuff here, and this stuff in itself was all a tangled mess when you put it in the truck, and I just couldn't be bothered to swing the tailgate. So you know what happened when I went to tip it off, because I had it like a big tortoise. It was way above the gunnels and whatnot, so it just stuck there. So then the rain came while that was there, so I ended up having to go down with Cubby the excavator and drag all the stuff out of the back and rescue her down there. But by then we'd have 2 days of really good rain, and all of that material down where the fire is, you'll see, is my clay for the dams. And as that gets washed down into the surface of the material down there, it's just slick as an ice rink. And that truck's got cross and power dividers in, so it's got both sets of locks in it. And in Australia, I don't know about around the world, in Australia when we buy trucks, we buy them especially for this sort of work, we buy them configured like that. And there's a lot of trucks out there that are set up like that from new, because you watch Australian truckers, outback truckers, and you see how harsh the conditions get when they get like that here. So you get stuck down in there between those two ravines where you see me bring the trailer out that day. In between those two things, in that size truck, with that clay through there, it's just slick like an ice rink. So the only way to get out of there, because when you use the power device, it locks up the back end, and if it's got traction wherever you're pointing it, it will go. Doesn't matter whether it's a mountain in front of it or whatever's in front of it, it'll go. The only problem is when you come to turn at the end of that, it ain't going to turn. So you start in there, and then it goes as far as it can with the wheels fully locked against it, and then you just leave the power on, and it just keeps spinning, and it just slides itself around and follows the gradient of the fall on the ground, which is perfect for what you're trying to do. So you just let it slide under power all the way around. It walks its way around, and then you back up the other side, and then you just take off and work your way up the hill. But this stuff gets slick, real slick. It doesn't get deep. It's not like you get bogged. You just get on top and you just can spin your wheels. And that truck has really aggressive tires on it, so it has the best of everything, but it needs it in this environment. But it was never a problem with getting stuck, but it's just one of those things. So I have about 100 of these bloody garden bags. Whenever they dump the stuff here, they dump these garden bags with it. Like it's like a minefield. You just go through it and through it and through it, and you're always picking them out. But anyway, back to what we were doing. So we've got to get rid of all of this stuff down to the back where we were going to put the gardens anyway, put the regenerative growing. So then we can go back to collecting the material, and then we're going to change the process that we use for breaking it down to a well, I don't know whether it's a new substance. It's new to me, but there's a special product out here. It's probably would most likely be in the States too, and it's anaerobic. What is it? Anaerobic, no oxygen. So you cover the pile over, you put the microbes into it, and then you break it down that way. And it's supposed to do away with smell, although in this stuff here the smell is really not bad. Okay, it really is surprising. But you have to turn the piles, so that's the kicker with that one. You're paying for the product, but then you don't have to turn the piles, you just cover them over with plastic, and that will do for us. But what we have at this point in time is that the palm fronds don't break down. They don't break down at the same rate. So you'll see other areas in the material where we break it down where they got miles in front of me, because what I like to do is this material here, I've sorted all through this material and I've taken the palm fronds out. That's how come the palm fronds are all over there and all the bigger timbers over there, because I find that breaks down much better when we're working on that material. The palm fronds, if it gets wet enough, they'll go sloppy and sloshy and then they'll break down, but they still are a major component in the material, and I'm not sure when we're going to be incorporating that into the ground whether that will become a problem with the rotary hoe. So, you know, if you guys out there want to give me some help and give me some advice, our soil is a lot, well, this is one of our things that we've done because we have to be able to get access, and like I keep saying, when this place turns slick and turns poo-poo, it really is an ice skating rink to handle it. The four-wheel drive tractors are okay, but the two-wheel drive tractor still goes around it, but you know, on a few of the slopes it just spins a little bit. It's better than any other four-wheel drive or other thing, yeah, and then four-wheel drive tractors are better. But what I was trying to say is this is what our soil is like. Okay, this is a bit of fill mixed in amongst it. There's a few bits of rock, you know, through the fill. Other places on the property, the rock's more around there. That up there on the high side there is probably more indicative of how some parts of the rock are. So I need to open it up, and I haven't bought any of the things. I've got a small cultivator there. I've got to get new sweeps for it, but I would have thought that a cultivator wouldn't do that good in breaking this up to start with. And then what I was thinking of doing was rotary hoeing it, you know. So once I've ripped it, to rotary hoe it. But that's what it was there. We're not obviously going to seed and pasture this, but down the bottom we want to seed and pasture that. So the question is, what equipment, if you guys, I'm not buying new equipment, so don't go there. I don't have that enough money for that. What equipment would you put together to be able to do that stuff? And you'll find a channel, oh geez, what was it? Farming Life Australia. Sorry John, I just go blank sometimes lately. I don't know, I'm getting older. Yeah, Farming Life Australia, check him out. He's in northern Queensland. Fantastic films and stuff like that. Help him out and subscribe to him, and have a look at what he does up there in North Queensland with the wet season and stuff like that. Very interesting. Very talented gentleman with sculptures and making things with his hands, just incredible, and very versatile at making do with what he has at hand. So within this is what I intend to do, is break, not here but down there, break up the soils and then set pasture and that on them, and then also set those regenerative garden processes in place with the mulch. So I've carted, what did I cart? just on 200 cubic meters down there before the rain came, and then we held up on that. We've done 1 truckload of the palm fronds down to the fire, so I'm just about to load up on the trailer here. I used the truck for that one, but it's a bit too wet. I don't want to use the truck down there at the moment because of that. It's easier to load the trailer up and then run the trailer down there. So that's basically it. So I'll just chuck you up on top and give you a look at what we're doing. So hopefully the tractor will be gone very shortly, and we'll be able to show you the new tractor on early next week, which will be a very, very nice thing. Everything's been settled as far as we're concerned. We're just working through a couple of smaller things that we've got to work through, and we're all moving on with our lives, so that's really good news. So it'll be exciting when we move that process over to the front end loader and the other stuff there, because you know, moving these piles, these guys sold this business, or these guys bought this business, and in you know, in a week they have over doubled what they were dumping, you know, and obviously they like to dump it for the same price. So we need to regenerate these types of things. When you have that sort of volume and you've got to have that machine, the front end loader, to roll the piles over now, it is a bit more of a cost to be able to get my mulch made. But having said that, if this new stuff works out, although it's a bit expensive to buy, I shouldn't be as tied to it labour wise to then be able to produce my product for my gardens at a much cheaper price, because this whole property was run down over 30-40 years, and it really does need to be picked back up and worked out. Anyway, look, I better stop because everybody complains my videos get too long because I start to talk and talk and talk, and I'm not a genius like a lot of other people that can edit and cut their videos and make them look so dang professional. Anyway, look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chuck you up on top, because I bought a heap of stuff originally when I bought my GoPros, and I've never ever used them. So I'm going to chuck some things up there. We'll have a bit of a look at what it looks like. I don't want to make you guys too spinny, I hope. I hope it works out for you. Don't make you seasick. Let me know if you do, because we can certainly move things around. But I definitely want to try and put you in a few different places and see what we can experiment with as time goes on. And we'll have to get that drone out and start flying that drone. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Gary. I'm the Attitude Adjuster. Life looks much better from here, up on the cubby, having fun and enjoying my friends. Thank you all for dropping in. Thank you all for subscribing. You all have meant so much to me over this period of time, and having people to chat with and, you know, bounce ideas off and get different ideas on how to do things. You know, there's my bamboo that I planted 18 months ago. Have you ever seen bamboo that's about 18 months old and that's the size of it? I worked it out how come, because every weekend I let my horses out and every weekend they give it a haircut. So that's why it hasn't taken off. So I guess I have to put a fence up that keeps them out of the garden, hey? Okay everyone, thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.